Hello, hello, and welcome. We have a HIIT workout for us today. So we're working on that cardio. There's going to be some muscular endurance involved as well. Some power moves. It's all going on there. But the main thing that is going on here is our heart is going to be working and we're going to be sweating by the end of this. So let's go ahead and get ourselves ready for that with a nice warm up. So let's just go ahead and do some arm circles. Go round to the front to begin with. And then we'll go rotate it back. Just a second in 5, 4, 3, 2, and rotate it back. Build up that range of motion. It may not all be there right from the start, so build it up as you need. Ooh, feeling good, feeling good. Let's do some rotating, I don't know what we call this, but torso twists, I guess, with a knee drive. Man, honestly, coming up with some terms for these things, I'm sure there's probably official terms for different things, but I just come up with my own. And sometimes I'm like, what the heck was I meaning when I wrote that? Sometimes it's like really like trying to decipher. Well, that's exactly it. It's decipher, like a cipher. Anyways, I watched a show the other day on the plane, and it's like it was included ciphers and things, so now the word was there. Anyways, let's do some standing squats. And then we'll top it all off with some jumping jacks to get that heart really going. Build up that range of motion. So today we have got 3 circuits that are made up of 5 exercises each. Okay, so technically some of them don't have 5 exercises, but like I'm including left and then right as 2 separate exercises. Mainly because when I'm counting for my timer, I need to make sure that I count correctly. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some jumping jacks. And we're going to do each of those circuits 3 times over before we move on to the next circuit. So we're gonna really work ourselves. But it's only 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, and we're gonna go ahead and jump in. We're gonna have a nice little cool down at the end. So hang in there, you got this. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with the first exercises, which is on the mat, which are mountain climbers. So just get yourself into that position and let's bring up those knees into our chest, keeping that nice neutral spine as we're doing it. Perfect. So timing should be perfect for you to just like get your work and then you're like, okay, I'm done by the end. So spotty dogs next. So opposite arm, opposite leg, and we're just jumping, lunging. It's not quite a lunge. Keeping your arms straight to really get that resistance. Obviously, depending on how your hands are, depends on how much added resistance is going to be there. Next up, we have single leg knee drives. So just keeping one side. And so you've got to really balance on that leg and drive up on that with that knee. Keeping the core engaged. Let's go. Nice. Switching to the other side for the next set. Let's go. These are familiar movements if you've done the dance cardio with me. This is obviously a very different style of cardio. Balance. Should not talk as you're doing this. Very different style of cardio, obviously. Next up, we have side shuffles. I'm going to push Mama out of the way. So we're just going to do our taps. Shuffle, 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 tap. Like that. This one is sort of less straight fun. Unless you're some kind of like person that likes pain for pleasure, all that. I don't know. It's like, kind of like it, kind of hate it, you know. Mountain climbers up next. These are the sort of exercises that I really hate. Mountain climbers. We have some plank shoulder taps at the end. They're like just movements that I really hate, honestly. But it's only 20 seconds at a time. We can do this, right? If you need to step it down, just walk, just knee drive, switch, then you can do that. Everything here, you can sort of step down from a jumpy motion to one leg at a time situation, more of a walking movement. But try to exert as much as you can in this session. Next up, we have single leg knee drives. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I haven't quite decided clearly if we're doing our hands coming out and in, or if we're doing running arms. Doesn't particularly matter as long as you're consistent, which I clearly have not been. Switching to the other side. Let's go, let's go. I thought I was going to really hate this session, and so far I'm not hating it as much as I anticipated, but we've not even finished the first circuit, but you know, we can feel hopeful, right? We can do this. The second circuit are all using weights. Okay, side shuffles. So if you have some weights, you can make sure to grab them during the water break in between the circuits. If you don't have any weights, think about using like maybe a big water bottle. You could fill up a bag with water bottles, things like that, books, heavier objects that you could use for these motions. Okay, back to the mountain climbers. Let's go. Last time I have to do the mountain climbers. Oh my goodness. This was all the time I was broken for a second. I was like, there's no way it's still going. Just feels like a lifetime. Like some other exercises, really fast. Spotty dogs, let's go. You know, the annoying thing about these jumpy movements is my hair. Like my hair just starts to come loose, and I have to redo it. I'll constantly adjust it. Okay. Onto those single leg knee drives. You know what it is? I haven't got my glasses on. This is really small handwriting that I use. So I'm like squinting. What the heck did I write? Let's go. At least my timer is nice and big and color coded. So I can really feel it in that leg that's stabilizing and the core to keep us from shaking around loads as we're doing it. Switching to the other side. Let's go. go. You know, I feel like sometimes we only do the workouts that we enjoy doing, and then it's like the ones that you don't really enjoy doing, sort of avoid. But there's a purpose for them, right? Like a HIIT workout is not the sexiest thing, if we're honest with ourselves. But I really believe there's a time and a place for side shuffles, because you're working to your maximum intensity. It's like doing sprint sessions, right? So you're pushing both the anaerobic and aerobic capabilities of your body, so that when you need to next run for the bus, which hopefully you don't, you'll be able to do it without feeling awful at the end of it. Okay. Or, you know, if you're in Canada and you have loads of snow, like how we do at the minute, and then they always talk about making sure to protect your heart when you're clearing snow, because it elevates your heart rate. But you know what this kind of training does? It trains you for those kind of moments. You want to be fit for every day. You're going to have a water break, grab some water quick. We're going to jump in, make sure to grab your weights for this next circuit. Get started on this. I have a 25 pound, because we're doing for a short time. I'm like, we can totally do 25, right? So we're doing dead stop, clean and press. Whew. Just one side to begin with, then switching to the other side. Make sure to drive from that lower body, pushing it up through your upper body. Dead stop meaning we come to a complete stop at the bottom. You'll see any problem with these adjustable, so you just have to adjust them. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Let's go. Ooh. Drive it up. I have a 15 pound on hand in case this 25 becomes too much. But I think we might got this. We might got this. We just might. Let's push this around. Okay, kettlebell swings, which is dumbbell swings. Yeah. So make sure to drive that hip. It's a hinge motion, not a squat. So hinging at that hip, driving through the hip to bring that momentum forward. Chill it down. We are going to do our wood chops next. I think I'm going to do this with a 15 pound. So I'm going to go up. So staying on one side first. So we're going down, and then basically staying in that lunge position, but up. Our torso is going up in direction to the other side. Just move that slightly out of the way. So other side. Always got to make sure we balance out. Whatever we do on one side, we got to do it on the other. Really hoping I'm in frame. Let's go. Okay, good. Back to the top with our dead stop, clean and press. Switching it back to that 25. We have a lot of confidence in ourselves. It's only 20 seconds, right? We can do this. Totally do this. We're driving through those legs. Try and make sure to stabilize that shoulder. I say that because I'm talking to myself. Sometimes I feel things and I'm like, I don't think that's how I'm supposed to feel. Other side. Let's go. So we're talking high intensity. Pushing it through. Still controlled in that motion. Oh, I think I may have to drop down for the last one. Kettlebell swings up next. Let's go. Really squeeze those glutes at that top of the range of motion, even though the biggest time that they're working is actually at the bottom of that range of motion. Okay, finally we have our wood chops, left and then right. Switching weights over. Okay, let's go. Yo, I saw a video of someone doing this and she made it look so smooth. And I'm sorry guys, that mine does not look that smooth. I wish it did. Maybe with some practice. Maybe with some practice, you can get there. Other side. This is really good at working those obliques, those side abs, and also into your lats as well. Working that back. Again, it's strong. Back to our dead stop clean and row, clean and press. Switching down to the 15 to maintain good form, because I really felt my form slipping in that last one, especially up on my shoulder, because my upper body just isn't as strong as my lower body. Okay, switching over to our other side. Whew. Get that sweat going. The heat decided to come on in the house as I started this HIIT workout. Really great time for it to decide that it wanted to come on. At least I can have a nice shower after this and then I feel nice and refreshed. Okay, kettlebell swings or dumbbell swings. If you have a kettlebell, wonderful. I do not. So, dumbbell it is for us. It's one of those ones that looks really weird, like me staring at the camera like this. Hinge motion. It's also why I like a slightly diagonal view of it better, because you get to really see what is going on. Back to our wood chops. This is the final time you're on this circuit. It's going fast, right? It's going fast. 20 seconds on. Really doesn't feel like too much at a time. Hopefully. If you do need to take extra breaks, hit pause when you need to. Reduce down the motion, reduce down the weight as you need to. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating so hard right now. Definitely be guzzling that water in just a second. Whew. I tell you, the timer over and you get your water break. Make sure to pause for a longer one if you need it. This really works those stabilizing muscles really well. Okay, we can put those weights away. We do not need them for the rest of the session. We can have our water break now. See you in a second. Okay, onto the mat for the first one. We have surfer get-ups. So we're going to lay down straight. We're going to jump up to the side, hold it, come back down. And then go to the other side. Hold it, back down. Really like you're getting up on your surfboard. Nice. Okay, next up we have pop squats. Push that out of the way a little bit. So, going to pop down and pop up. That's what our pop squat is. has a nice little rhythm to it, I always think. You can really slap that floor if you want to emphasize that rhythm. Whew. Definitely had We Will Rock You going through my head as we were doing that. Okay, side lunge switch is kind of like a dancey move. So we're just gonna side lunge, flip from one side to the other. Basically on the spot. Okay, good. Next up, we're back onto the mat. We're going to do something kind of weird. We're going to do bear to crabs. So this is a bear hold, and then we're going to rotate it. I'm going to go to a crab, and I'm going to come back around. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Really going to work that core, that deep core. Nice. Staying down on the mat. For the next one, we have got plank shoulder taps. I've really considered getting rid of these because I hate them so much. So you're in that plank position, and then you're just going to bring up your hand to your opposite shoulder and tap your shoulder. Keeping that core engaged. If you need to do an easier version, go onto your knees. Surfer get ups. Let's go. I like surfer get ups. It's like doing a burpee, but without that jump at the end. And somehow I gaslight myself into thinking they're not nearly as bad, even though they kind of are. Maybe I just feel cool, like I'm a surfer. But I surfed once, and there was like no surf. That was a challenge. Cornwall let me down. Sweating. Let's go. See, I wish I knew the lyrics to We Will Rock You, because I would be singing it right now. Okay, side lunge switches. Let's go. You can tap down on that floor. These are kind of called drags in jazz dance. Don't know if anyone else knows that, but yeah, we're actually, the next dance cardio is going to be jazz themed. I actually have done vernacular jazz for about 10 years now. Doesn't mean I'm great, just means I've done it. So no one should hold me accountable to doing the moves extraordinarily or not. I mainly do partner dance, Lindy hop. I've not done that in some time now. Just with my schedule, not aligning, things like that. Staying down on the ground for our plank taps, shoulder taps. Let's go. You know, the thing about HIIT is it really does get your cardio strong. Last year, I went for a run, having not ran in a long time, but having done a lot of HIIT. And I was able to get a pretty decent time on a 5K from the get-go. So it does work. Surfer get-ups, let's go. Down on the floor. I think there's a lot of noise out there. If you listen to too many influencers telling you, do this thing, don't do this thing. I think my opinion is more of, do that thing, and if it's not too much, do the other thing. Where can you switch and change things to keep your thing interesting, your routine interesting? Pop spots, let's go. We will rock you. It's just all that my head can do during this. It really kind of helps. Okay. Whew. We're getting through it. Back to those side leg switches. Let's go. So really launching off that bent leg each time. Oh, there's a bug in my room. Whew. Bear to crab. Up next. Let's go this way first, because I feel like I've done less this direction than I have the other direction. Because I always start on that direction. Release back onto our front for those plank shoulder taps. Last exercise before our cool down. Let's go. Maybe that's why I put it last, so I could be like, yeah, it's fine. We only have to do this, and then we're done. We don't have to do this again. We don't have to do any of the movements again. Like Loki, my least favourite movements were the first one and the last one. So we sandwiched everything else in between. Whew. Get yourself up gently, in case you're anything like me and need a little adjustment when you go from a squatted position to a standing position. There's a natural dip in blood pressure for everyone as you do that movement. So especially when you've been exercising heavily, it can be exacerbated or exaggerated. Go down a little bit. Let's just do some pulls side to side. Let that heart rate come down gently from all of that work. Whew, I have some sweat in my eyes, but we feel good. Feel good. Oh man, it may not feel great when you're doing it, but when you're done, you're like, yeah, feel good, feel good. Although every time I seem to do these HIIT workouts, I end up with sweat in my eyes, and that's really not it. I think that's why we're supposed to have eyebrows, but I don't know if it's fashion has ruined it for us. Oh my goodness. And made it so our eyebrows are less functional than they're supposed to be. Okay, let's do some stretches. So let's stretch our quads. Grab a wall if you need. You can do this on the floor, laying on your front, or you can do it on your knee, on like one knee, stretching this one back. Behind you, really feeling it through the front, through your hip flexors. You sort of pull your chest up, your knees back, you'll feel it a little bit more into your hip flexors as well. Feel it more into your quads. Other directions. Can't quite work out which direction that is, but there we are. Let's turn around and do this side. Oh man, hope you're having a beautiful week. I am certainly having a beautiful week. I always have a beautiful week. You know, there's a song that we have in our church. Every day is a glorious day. Oh, it's like one of the lines in it. And that's how life should be. Every day should be a glorious day. And with Christ, it really can be, honestly. Every day is a glorious day with God. Because He's already given us everything that we require for life and godliness. And so every day is a glorious day. I don't suffer. I don't lack. Oh God, He literally lives inside of me. Isn't that crazy? It's really cool. Let's go to stretch our the back of our legs, gastrocnemius. Man, I totally forgot that word. I did GCSE PE, and then came back to me. I had to learn like the main muscles and stuff back then. Whew. Interestingly, if you asked me when I was younger what I could see myself doing when I was older, I would never have said that I would become a chemist. I would never have said that. Like, I wouldn't have known that. Just happened to be all right at it in GCSE and decided to continue it all the way through to PhD. But one thing that I would have been able to tell you, two things actually. One is that there was a strong chance I was going to marry a pastor. I kind of knew it in myself. My husband is a pastor. And the other thing is sports, anything to do with sports and fitness. I kind of just knew, like, it's always what I liked from a very young age, what I was interested in. And so sort of getting to this stage now, doing this stuff, like, kind of makes sense. So we're trying to see it through. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Don't try and do those calls very often, but if you like it, then show it. Very encouraging when you're creating this stuff and you see that people are benefiting from it, especially if you're like seeing results from it. You're like, yeah, this was a really good workout. I really enjoyed certain aspects. Maybe you didn't enjoy some aspects. In a loving way, you can tell me that as well. Open to that. Just make sure to do it in a constructive manner, then you get listened to, funnily enough. Okay, I am drenched in sweats. I want to hop into a shower right now. Probably you feeling the same way. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you, and I love you, and I hope to see you next time.